So, the bones that make up the appendicular skeletal, it consists of the girdles and the limbs attached onto them. Girdles and the limbs that are attached onto them. Now, the girdles that we have are what we call pectoral girdle on the anterior side. Anterior side means the upper side. And the pelvic girdle towards the posterior. Posterior means the downer part. So I've said we have two types of girdle. There is the pectoral girdle, as we're going to look at it, on the anterior part. Then on the posterior part, there is what we call the pelvic girdle. Now, these limbs to the anterior part of the body are going to be forming what we call the forelimbs. Then posteriorly, they are going to be forming what we call the hind limbs. Now, the limbs of a mammal are always designed on the basis that they are divided to form 5 projections. Like when you look at my fingers, there is the 5 projection of the fingers, which means that they are forming what you call pentadactyl limbs. These are what you call pentadactyl limbs. Pentadactyl means that they are divided into 5 digits. They are divided into 5 digits. And the first pectoral girdle that we're going to talk about is what we call the scapula. And with me is a diagrammatic representation of a scapula, and this is the left scapula of a rabbit. The left scapula of a rabbit. Now this scapula is one of the parts of the pectoral girdle, and this pectoral girdle is consisting of 3 bones. It has what we call 3 bones. Number 1, there is what we call the scapula as an example of the pectoral girdle. Then there is what we call the coracoid process. This is what we call the coracoid process. Then apart from the coracoid process, there is another bone that is called the clavicle. So together, the 3 bones, what we call the coracoid process, the scapula and the clavicle, form what is called the pectoral girdle. And how do these pectoral girdles work? They are attached onto the upper part of the vertebral column. That region where we are having the cervical vertebrae, that is the region where we are having most of these pectoral girdle bones attached. So, when you look at the diagram of a scapula, it is a structure of the bone that appears to be triangular in shape. It always appears to be triangular in shape, and the scapula always overlies a number of ribs. Now, at its apex, there is a concave cavity or a depression that we call the glenoid cavity. So this is towards the apex part. There is a concave depression that is called the glenoid cavity, and this glenoid cavity is the one that is always articulating with the head of the humerus to form what we call a ball and socket joint. The glenoid cavity articulates with the head of the humerus to form what we call a ball and socket joint. So this ball and socket joint moves in all the planes.